I want to ask you about this coronavirus to begin with, though, because and how it's affected you and how the last couple of months have been for you. Has it been difficult? Have you found any real problems? I've found it a little bit difficult in some ways. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, initially, it was, very anxious time, and it felt like all the fear mongering, and it did feel very scary. So just the experience of going shopping was horrendous, and
Mm,
all the worries, nobody knew what it was going to actually lead to. So, and I had friends who were scared of losing their job, friends that couldn't had to cancel their wedding, all sorts of people with different issues. I remember some of my elderly neighbours looking terrified, and then sort of making a point of checking with they were okay. But it was, I don't think we can underestimate how frightening the whole thing was a few weeks ago. I mean, it's the worry seems to have kind of worn off now with the easing, and I mean, it's not sort of the fear mongering isn't
yeah.
as bad as it was. But so, I mean, I personally did have anxiety from it, and I know of two people, well, one person, no, two actually, that committed suicide during lockdown,
Oh,
and other cases of people doing, similar, well, cries for help kind of acts, and you wonder if the lockdown has, if that influenced state
of
of mind.
course, yeah. I mean, I remember when, because I suffered from depression in my life, and I know what it's like, and the isolation. It really is it's a the isolation is something that feeds depression, and it feeds off it, and it's an ever it sort of it feeds depression, and then it feeds off it as well, and it's a depressive. That's why they call it a depression cycle, because you literally get sucked into it like a vortex. And
Yeah,
obviously human contact is something. I mean, I wrote a book ages ago on sort of like how I got myself out of depression, and it's sort of
mm,
like almost like my own memoir.
right,
And um, human contact is massive. It's key. My
yeah,
my feeling was, because I researched the hell out of it. My feeling was we haven't human beings haven't really changed much in the way they live their lives from Stone Age times. Really, if you actually look through all the centuries, the way we lived our lives. It's not until the 70s came and the birth of technology and the birth of I call it the information era, where it's like we can communicate, obviously. So you've got the telephone and first, and then you've got the birth of the internet and social media, and we don't talk to each other like this anymore. I mean, we don't talk to each other face to face anymore like we used to.
yeah,
It's all done digitally. It's all done in 140, 280 characters on Twitter. It's all done by text message as well. I used to hate text messages when they first come out. It was like, if you want something, you want to tell me something, phone me and call me and see how I am.
mm,
And the way we live our lives, because we've sort of had this separation almost, I felt anyway, this separation of human interaction, that was a massive catalyst for why had a massive spike in the rates of depression and suicide in the last 30, 40 years. I honestly do believe that technology is to play for that. And obviously you've got other factors as well, such as diet, and sleep, and the way you think, your cognitive behaviour. But
yeah. And the family unit, as the dynamics of family units have changed as well, haven't they, over the years? People are more, live further apart than their generations. They're split up.
yeah,
They'll tend to go in, well, quite frequently go into homes, or you know, um, they're alone, aren't they? A lot of the time, the governments didn't they create a minister for loneliness?
yeah, it
I don't know
wasn't
what
that long
happened to
ago,
them.
was it?
No,
Who
obviously it
was
didn't
it?
work.
It's probably Preeti Patel or somebody horrible like that. And
Yeah,
then, but yeah, I see what you mean. But oh, that's awful. And
yeah,
I'm assuming that this is something that is going to be underreported as well. Suicides during this period.
yeah. I mean, I suppose as the months go on, we'll hear more of the results of the isolation. But I mean, it's also things like you said, well, the elderly in particular as well, are much more vulnerable, and if isolation is really bad for things like dementia, as well as depression.
Yeah.
And the elderly stuck at home, not going out, are much more likely to slow down. I know that's happened to a member of my family. We tried to sort of deliver food, phone every day, but she's 80, and the speed that she moves now between now and the lockdown just is very noticeable. She's slowed right down.
No.
Her reactions are slow. She's finding it hard to get out of a chair. And that's really sad to see. And that might have happened anyway, but the effects of the lockdown can't really be underestimated. So,
How do you feel? You're a student. Say you're a student. You watch the media like I do. You
yeah.
watch the propaganda. How do you think that they've sort of? Because obviously, I mean, let's take the BBC. The BBC are meant to their remit are meant to inform, educate, and entertain, aren't they? So inform and education. What do you reckon with regards to their information on this? Because I'm from the Joe Rogan school of thought on this, in that we've had a lot of talk on what the government have done right and when they should have locked down the government, and what the R rate is, and all these, we're going to bring in these things to stop mass gatherings and etc., and we're going to get the police to enforce it. They're saying absolutely nothing or very little in the media and in government, from government voices, on how to actually take care of your own health.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's like, to fight this thing, we need to be healthy. Surely we should be hammering on how we really need to take care of ourselves. Because I've really been taking this serious over the last couple of months. Have you? With regards to, has it made you think about your health?
Yes, I mean, I've been making a point of exercising every day, but
Good
we've
on
got
you.
space. We've got space in one of our rooms, living room. We've got a living room with space, so you can jump about. We've got space. We've got a little garden as well. So every day exercising, and trying to eat probably as more healthy than actually before,
Yeah.
probably. But I know I watched you. You've taken up running, haven't you?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
actually did 2 months. 2 months ago, I started on my phone. I've got an app on my phone that sort of said 0 to 10k, and it was one of those, And tomorrow morning
Yeah.
is my 10k run. I'm actually
Yeah.
doing it tomorrow. I was only either going to do it this morning or tomorrow morning, and I woke up and I still got some deadness in my legs from the run on Saturday, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. But yeah, like 2 months ago, I couldn't run. I've got, my local park is about just over a kilometre around the
Mm.
outside, and I couldn't run. I couldn't run around it, and now I'm running around it 6, 7 times just on training sessions, twice, 3 times a week. It's amazing for anybody out there who hasn't exercised for a long time. And I wasn't in terrible shape, but I was this time last year. I was in terrible shape. Go and look at my videos. You should see. You could see by the bags under my eyes and the colour of my skin. But it's amazing how quickly I've gone from really quite unfit to quite fit. It's incredible how quickly
Yeah.
it's happened. And to anybody who's thinking about it, I'll just say do it. And push yourself to do it, because the rewards are insane. They really are. You feel cognitively like sharper. You sleep better. That's something that comes naturally from obviously running around and exercising more.
It's
You
very good for anxiety. Very good.
For your mental health, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
You're more confident. And for anybody, I'd just say do it. It's really hard to begin with. I my fiance is really quite fit, and
Mm.
right at the beginning, just before I started the training, she took me on, just an exercise thing, and obviously, me being a man, I tried to impress and did too much. and I couldn't move for like 2 days. I had that delayed onset muscle syndrome that they get, where your muscles feel like they're burning. But
Yeah.
after that, I haven't looked back. I remember she said, she was saying to me, "This won't be forever. It's just the first time. It's just because you've got to get over it." And after that, it's become easier and easier and easier, to the point where I'll be running 6.5 miles tomorrow. 6.5 miles. That's a long way from nothing.
Yeah,
So
it
if
is.
for anybody out there, just please do it, and you will not regret it. You really won't. Especially if you. I've even like I've stopped drinking alcohol as well,
Oh, well,
which
that's
is.
better for me.
It was my birthday last week, and we had a drink on my birthday, but that was it. I haven't touched it for over a month now. I think about a month now. And I was like, right, okay, we're just going to have alcohol just as like special occasions, and then there's the eating side of things as well. And so I haven't just been doing the exercise; it's the eating as well, and really trying to, um, eat salad, eat my greens, etc. But also, on the times when I do have a takeaway, I've learned to make them myself. So not only am I not when I'm having a takeaway, for instance, tonight, Nina, we're cooking kebabs.
Right.
A proper doner kebab with the
Yeah.
doner meat. We've made it last night. We made it and put it in. It's in the freezer and it's ready to go tonight. So, and like a big block of meat there, will do about 10 kebabs. It cost us about £2.50 to make. And these things are about £4 or £5 each. So even, and obviously they've put all the preservatives in there and all the salt and all the nastiness that as well that goes in it. So yeah, the one thing that's come out of this lockdown for me is taking my health more serious and getting to middle age like I am, and you kind of want to try and live as long as you can when you've got as much to say as I have. Have you like been really looking after your health as well?
So, yeah, I think
Your
so.
food, etc.
Yeah. I've been spending a lot of time looking at the world, what's going on. Like, there's so much going on, isn't there? So, I guess looking after your family, looking after your health, and watching what's going on around the world is about what you can do, really.